Oh, How the World Turns by Mallory. Nothing happens when Leki and Nanga meet. No one cheers, people don't whisper about them, fireworks don't explode around their face. The world keeps turning. But to Nanga, it felt revolutionary. Nothing, he had decided from that point on, could be more metamorphic than the moment he met Leki. It flipped his world upside down. A scene that would be forever imprinted into his brain. A core memory he would treasure in this life and the next. To him, it's more important than skating. He doesn't think it would matter whether Leki introduced him to the concept of a skateboard or not. Only that he met Leki. He doesn't need skateboarding, but he needs Leki. He'd give up skating in a second for Leki Kyan. Still, the moment he met Leki remained the memory carved into his heart. A painted picture so beautiful it would be dreadful to ever destroy. But then the time comes when they're standing in the skate park they always go to, one that's become a second home to him. Or maybe it's just being there with Leki, but either way. He laid down on the once smooth flooring, roughed up by the amount of times he'd been skated over. That was fun. Yeah, Leki grunted, sitting beside him and offering him bottled water. Nanga smiled gratefully, accepting the drink and taking a sip. Leki, you're amazing, you know? Leki's cheeks flushed slightly, not meeting Nanga's eyes. You say that a lot. Because it's true, he responds with vigor, a confident smile on his face. He's quiet, unsure a lot of the time, but whenever it comes to Leki, he was always certain in his words. Because, well, it's true. Leki is incredible, stunning, beautiful, and everything Nanga has ever wanted. And he tells him so. Usually, Leki blushes and tells him to stop, cheeks toning down to a deep red and a half smile on his face. But this time, Leki, clearly fighting the color off his cheeks, turns to him with surprising determination. Nanga. Nanga's eyes widen, eyes trained on Leki, who doesn't seem to faze. He can feel his heart speed up in his chest as Leki stares at him directly, seeming to work up the courage to say something. Leki. Almost instantaneously. So fast Nanga almost doesn't register. Leki's hands are tangled in his hair as he presses their foreheads together gently. Nanga can feel his own hands get sweaty, anticipation and nerves building up inside his stomach, fluttering like butterflies. Nanga. Leki breathes again. So soft and so pretty that Nanga's mind doesn't work anymore. Whenever Leki says his name, his heart skips a beat, and this time is no exception to the past. But somehow, he feels so much more enamored, so much more in love. Oh, he's in love. That's the word. He's always been in love with Leki, he thinks, from the moment he met him. He's been in love with him so long, it feels normal. It feels right, it's always felt right. But yet, he's never been able to identify the word for the way he felt. It's stupid, now that he thinks back on it. But that's not the time for this now. He cups the side of Leki's face, pulling him in closer just by the slightest. Leki, he says, like it's a prayer, like it's the last word he'll ever say again. Leki. And that's when it gets too much for the both of them, their hearts beating rapidly, breath mingling together, and they both lean in simultaneously to meet each other in the middle. Nanga can't even think about how it feels, because all he can think about, all that he can comprehend, is that he's kissing Leki, and it's definitely long due. He's kissing Leki, and it feels revolutionary. They break apart, gasps for air and sync, and he thinks that maybe they've always been in sync like this. They make eye contact, and Leki looks away, cheeks burning. Somehow, Longa's cheeks aren't a bright red at all, as he pulls Deki in for the second time. Only this time, he only presses a kiss to the corner of his lips. Something sweet to savor for a second, and it feels just right on the occasion. Deki squeaks in surprise, before blushing harder if it were even possible. And suddenly, Longa's laughing, giggles coming out boldly and unstoppable. Deki stares at him for a second, before he begins laughing as well, their laughs harmonizing. "I'm in love with you," Deki says first, after he breathes slowly to contain his laughter. "I'm sure it's obvious by now, but..." "It's okay," Longa interrupts, the grin on his face wider than it's ever been in a while. He can't remember the last time he smiled like this, so wide, so unabashedly. "I'm in love with you too, Deki." And he thinks it's beautiful, so beautiful, when Deki smiles, one of those soft ones, the ones reserved for him, the ones he gives Longa when he says something particularly meaningful. And Longa finds him so beautiful. It probably feels dumb to say this, but... "Really?" Deki asks softly, looking at him, brown eyes deep with emotion that Longa never paid much attention to, and he regrets it now. And he's tired of not telling him the things he's thought before, too. So he blurts out everything he's ever thought, everything he's never said before. "Deki, you're beautiful. You taught me what fun was. You taught me how to skateboard. You taught me how to love. God, Deki, of course I love you." "Longa Hasegawa," Deki says immediately after, voice rough with emotion. "You're incredible. I don't say it as much as I should. I never have, but you look at yourself. You're always encouraging me, saying things like that and making me feel good about myself. And you're so pretty, and you're kind and considerate, and you're everything, Longa." And everything after that is a blur, because he remembers pulling Deki the second time, because finally his actions can mean more than his words. He wraps his arms around his waist, pressing kisses across his face, and then finally, he thinks a core memory is added on, suddenly. Because Deki painted another picture across his heart, another gorgeous one, something that was just as life-changing as meeting him. And he promised to himself that he'll never wipe that one out. Nothing happened this time either. The world continued turning, as usual, only this time with two boys kissing in a skate park. But oh, how the world turns.